Hi, Liz, can you hear us? I think you're on mute.
You're right. Can you hear me now?
Yep. Okay. We're using my phone because we had some issues here with the conference room, so
Okay.
we're going to be doing it through my phone just so we can have you on.
Maybe can we send her up
Yeah.
there?
Liz, you could see the table. You can hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Great. I'm glad that we were able to get you dialed in. AJ, so now we're going to start?
Yeah, we can call the meeting to order.
Okay. All right, great. I would like to call the meeting of the Dunkirk Local Development Corporation to order. It's 5:05 on Wednesday, April 21st. Roll call.
Yeah, we'll do roll call if we got it. Just want to go around the room. I don't see it.
Me, I'm here. Mayor Rosas,
Present.
Marsha Beach, here. EJ Hayes,
Here.
Paul Vandenhuber, Nancy Nichols,
Here.
Liz Cardona,
Here.
Tom Panache, Eric Moreland, Ned Devine,
Eric was excused.
Robert Rosas,
He's excused.
Juan Hernandez,
He's excused.
Marty Bamonto.
Here.
Awesome, thank you.
No.
Okay, we need a motion to approve the meeting minutes. Have everyone had a chance to review those?
Yeah, it's like, mine's correct. If there's a first report. Yeah, it's a checking account, but it could be just. Big seven, like, checking account, general fund.
Operating account.
It would be operating. That's the camera tomorrow.
That's what you're up.
But maybe restart it to put it on. We've got it on my phone up there. This is on.
We had to use this. But that camera that was there, I don't know.
Did
what happened.
anybody else have any other changes to the minutes?
Motion to accept the next. First by Marty Bamano, second. Second by Nick Ryan.
We'll take that camera back to the other.
Aye.
Hi.
New business. DLDC bylaws and policies, updates, and review.
So in your packets, right after or actually, sorry, right before the minutes. This actually, let's take one step back for general housekeeping. This was the updated board of directors contact list. If there's anything on there that needs a change or an email address has changed or phone number, if you could just note that and let me know at the end of the meeting. In terms of board member terms, everybody who's not an ex officio serves at the pleasure of the mayor. The terms, the mayor reviewed the list. Everybody is on the list through 2021. comments or anything that you'd like to put in there, but again, I know everybody's happy to serve and be part of the DLDC board. Talk to you from there.
Good job.
Kalpanachi could not make it today because of work, but he also reiterated that he's available by phone if need be, and he is happy to serve another. In your packets, there should be after the minutes, you should have a copy of the ABA, it looks like this ABA, online board member training.
It's after the blank page.
It's after the blank page, yep. So we had a few, Liz, I know Liz has completed the training, a few people in the room did the training, but not everybody has done this. This is a requirement for the New York State Comptroller's Office that all board members complete this webinar training. The first page just kind of spells out again what that training is and the responsibility as a board member. The second page has some upcoming trainings that are available. Obviously, there's one today that get on there, but April 28th, there's one from 9:30 to 11. Wednesday, May 5th, 9:30 to 11, and Wednesday, May 26th, 9:30 to 11. If anybody's interested in that, I can certainly help you get signed up, but it's pretty self-explanatory. You can go right to the that website and sign yourself up to register for it. It's pretty painless. It truly is about an hour and a half. Very informative. It just reminds you of your responsibilities as a board member. What that entails. Going along with that, some of you signed fiduciary responsibility form. You signed that when you first come on the board. As long as you continue on the board, we don't need it again. But we are missing some of these forms. We do have it from myself, Marcia, Mayor, Nancy, Elizabeth, Ned, Martin. I don't think anybody else has set this meeting here. Everybody else on there, we would need this form signed. Again, this is part of your responsibility as a board member and is required by the New York State Comptroller's Office. So I will follow up with the board members that we need to get.
I have a question.
Yes, Liz.
Hi, everyone. Once you complete the board member training, how long is it good for? Did they say 3 years?
I believe it's 3 years, or as long as if you leave and come back for a new term, they might ask you to do it again. But it's definitely for 3 years. Or it might also be as long as you serve, continue to serve on that term. I'll double check for sure, but 3 years is definitely accurate in terms of how long that goes. And the same thing, fiduciary responsibility form is good as long as you get reappointed. They'd like us to just kind of reaffirm and fill that form out once again, but they're just looking to have it on file so we can show the state that we are in compliance with what they're looking for.
The training was very informative and painless.
Thanks.
Very good. Very good training. It was interactive, so it went quickly.
Any questions in terms of what we need to stay in compliance with the Comptroller's Office? Questions on forms? Are you okay? Good. Okay. Liz, you good?
Yes. Good.
That's all I have in terms of.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is DLDC 2020 audit update. We have started the audit process. We have retained our auditors and are starting to get them their QuickBooks files. So we've been providing them their information and they have started the audit. So they are working on it currently.
And again, this will be the first year that we've used QuickBooks, so everything should be seamless.
Yeah,
Totals reports.
seems to be a nice, easy process. Yes, and so we did that, we implemented QuickBooks, and now they can pull the information straight from that. And it's merged with the bank account, so it's very simple. Okay, so let's move on to resolutions.
So the resolutions that we have are just our annual housekeeping resolutions. Again, these are required by Comptroller's office that we do each year at our first meeting of the year, which this meeting is that. So the first resolution is just reaffirming our mission statement and performance standards. The mission statement, we've had it, it's been the same for the past several years, as well as our performance goals. But again, it's, unless there was anybody on the board that would like to see a change or an amended piece of the mission statement for performance goals, we would put forth a vote for resolution to pass our mission statement and performance standards that we've adopted last year. And that's resolution 1, 2021. Is there anything there that questions or that you would like to add? No, now, but if everything looks good, I'd like to make if you want to make all make the motion, second. Ed with the first, Marty Romano with the second, to adopt our mission statement of performance standards for 2021 year. Thank you very much. Oh, I'm sorry. So all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Again, another housekeeping piece, election of secretary. This would be me for the third year running. But this is to reappoint Edward Hayes to be the secretary of the DLDC board for the next year, expiring March 31st, 2022. I'll put a motion out to accept.
Request a motion.
Yeah, I think the motion has the, also.
Ned Devine with the first, Marty Romano with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Liz, are you hearing this okay?
Yes, I am, and I'm also voting. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure because I know you're on the tiny.
Okay. I can hear you clearly. Thank you.
Resolution number 3, 2021 is the election of the treasurer or fiscal officer for the year. Again, Marcia has been serving a great job the last couple of years, and again, looking to continue through 2022. Somebody wants to.
I'll first that. I'll make the second.
Motion to approve Marcia Beach as the fiscal officer for the year 2021-22.
Never stopped it before. Never stopped it before.
Marty was the first. Did we have a second? Ned?
Get in there, Nance. What's going on?
All approved?
Aye.
Against? Okay. So the fourth resolution, this is to hire an independent contractor for the farmers market. So each year we have hire our market manager to officially represent the DLDC in handling all the market issues in the day-to-day operations of the market. I oversee that person directly, but this person is down in the market who's on the ground and oversees all of the transactions. Kevin Luce was great last year. He has put his hat in the ring to continue as the manager this year. I highly recommend him to return to the market this year. He would receive a stipend of $5,000, which is the same as last year. Paid once a month. $133 and change. period. Yeah, I recommend that you bring Kevin back on.
Exactly what this is.
He is down there. He is So Kevin oversees
EJ, did you temporarily mute? I can't hear anything. I can't hear anything.
Somebody better say something.
This should be good now.
in here.
Yes.
Okay. So Liz, I was just answering a couple questions about what the farmer market manager does and just saying oversees the transactions, day-to-day operations. So everybody on this end was satisfied with that. Kevin Luce has been running the market last year and we're looking to bring him back. So I highly recommend him and we're just about to put that up for a vote. So, if anybody would like to make a motion on that.
I would like to amend the top part, it says put forth by Rebecca.
Okay.
Who did that, the secretary?
So if anybody wants, I guess we should first make a motion to amend the resolution to include Joe Mo acting chairman.
I'll make a motion. To correct.
Leach,
I'll second.
Nancy Nichols. Okay, and then let's put the motion to accept the resolution as amended. Vote. Ned Devine with the first. Second. All right, come on. All in favor?
Aye.
Liz, you can still hear us?
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay. Motion carried. You want to speak on?
Yeah.
this one? Okay.
So the next couple of resolutions are to update the signature cards at the bank accounts for the DLDC. We need to remove Rebecca's name from the account. And then it has added me as a signatory. I would like to request that the resolution be amended to read contingent upon Dunkirk Common Council approval of Jill Mills' appointment.
Can we package it together where we can say resolutions 5 through 8?
Yes. All of that, so.
I move that we take that.
Right, that was the first, Marty with the second.
Aye.
And then, that being added, and then we can, the rest of these, the last four that we're gonna vote on will be revised, amended to have that language. So resolution number 5, authorization of DLDC farmers market account signatories. Rosas, Jill, myself, and Marcia. There's all of these require 2 signatures for any checks that are written. Motion on the table to accept the resolution.
I make a motion.
As amended.
I'll say.
That's the second. Okay. Resolution number 6, authorizing signatures, signatories on the DLDC operating account. And that would be Rosas, and Marsh Beach. Motion to accept the resolution as amended.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Resolution 7 of 2021. Signatures for the DLDC dog park formation account.
I make a motion.
Nancy makes a motion to accept the resolution as amended. Do I have a second?
Second.
Marty Romano. Liz, you're still good?
Yes, I think,
And, sorry, okay. All in favor of the last 4 resolutions?
Aye.
Any opposed to the last 4 resolutions?
You gotta do 8 first and second.
Yeah, oh, sorry, one more. Thank you. Sorry, one more, motion on the table for the DLDC Festivals account, that would be Mayor Rosas, Jill, and Marcia Beach. Motion to accept as amended. Ed Devine with the first.
Second.
Marty Romano with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So all signatory resolutions are approved as amended. That is it for resolutions we have on the table. Pass it back to you.
Thank you. Thank you. I only have one thing, this evening. The DLDC owns, various parcels of, pieces of property around town, and one of them is at 523 Columbus Street. We were approached by the, neighboring homeowner who would like to purchase this particular piece of property. This actually came up in 2018, where it was put forth to this board. The request was put forth to the board, and the board approved the sale of the property. So we are fine to move forward with selling it. But I'm bringing it up now because it was never decided on how much to sell it for. In 2018, the resolution was presented. It was approved to be sold, and that sale never happened. It was a general resolution for 523 Columbus to be sold. There was nothing specific about to who or for how much or anything like that. It was to a neighbor. So we have a neighbor, and they're wanting to purchase this piece of property that is adjacent to their house. And I am just asking, how much do we want to sell it for?
It's just land, there's no house or anything on it?
It's just a vacant piece of land.
To piggyback on what Jill was saying too, when we had that meeting, I went back to check the minutes. That particular property was the one that we were looking at, but the DLDC board in general, I believe, Andy Walden put out there that he would like to see any of the properties that DLDC owns like this, these vacant parcels, first go to a neighbor, to see if they would like to acquire it, and then it could, go on from there.
Why don't they do the same guidelines as if they were doing Paper Street in the city of Dunkirk? Is that not feasible?
It is, it can be whatever
just a
the
thought.
board chooses to do. I just didn't want to, pluck a number out the air. It's assessed value, it has an assessed value. It's a small little piece of property. So I wanted to, put it forth to the board for discussion.
What is the assessed value of that?
It's $1,200.
So I guess if that's fair. It's not the appraised value, but it's what we have.
Rich, are you the neighbor saying?
Yeah,
anything about how much
He's
they're
playing
willing
on
to
his
pay?
phone.
No,
No, I'm
the
squealing
neighbor
on
has
you.
not
Put
said
your phone away.
anything as far as.
We'll resolve other issues before our next meeting,
It,
6 o'clock.
I think,
my personal opinion is I think that's a little high for that little piece of property, but
But
Yeah,
these
that's-
things to take into consideration if the property's been shipped vacant, we continue to pay the taxes on that property.
Right.
So we're probably never going to use. Most of the time, communities that have these type of properties, if the neighbor wants it, they give it away for the assessed value. My recommendation would be that we follow suit and do that. Otherwise, it'll probably sit there vacant and we'll do nothing with it. Technically, we should be maintaining it because it is city property. So,
So would they pick up the cost for having it surveyed and everything and all the legal paperwork like people would do if they were gonna buy paper street?
When we do the paper streets, we basically charge them $50
Right,
a half parcel, because usually it's a half of the paper street adjacent to their property. And then they cover the filing fees, which for vacant land is about $320 with the county clerk's office. So in this case, you said it's assessed at what, $1,200?
right.
You ask for that and you get whatever they offer back as a counter. I mean, anything you get above the 50 is gravy. You're not gonna make much money on these. I can tell you, I'm working with another client in Buffalo now, and they're trying to buy 5 from the city of Buffalo and get a package deal for a building they're gonna put a cultural center and, the municipality's always gonna see what they can get, but these are residential lots that aren't, they're not in prime property. And if the neighbor's gonna essentially homestead it, yeah, I don't think we're not gonna make a killer profit on it. I doubt if you get assessed value. If they offer you 500, take them loan, is my recommendation.
How could we form that?
In a resolution.
A motion, yeah.
Well, we don't really need a resolution to sell it. That has already been passed and approved. I'm just bringing it up
For your
because I
guidelines.
don't want to just throw out a number. I want the board to,
She wants some
Say,
guidance. Yeah.
we want to tell the homeowner we would like this price for it and negotiate it to wherever you guys say, we can sell it for anything over, whatever.
I like the idea that the property is going to the neighbor next door. The fact is that, the assessed value of their property will go up or whatever the assessed value is. So I think, my motion would be to offer it at the assessed value and sell for whatever they come offer. And that's it. And, I wouldn't even put a bottom out. If they said $300, I'd say that's good. So forming that into
so
a
what
motion.
you're looking for is a scale.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
So how low is this board willing to go? How, in negotiating a price, how low is this board willing to accept? I mean, currently, the city has passed resolutions where we're selling properties that are probably assessed at more than this property for $50.
Right.
And we're gonna look at charging these guys $1,200. That's unfair and probably won't sell.
Right.
It's like a-
That's why I just said to do it with the cost of that, but then they would absorb the cost of the surveying and all the county legwork that has to be done with the filing there. And then also if they encompass it so that it would be one parcel of land with their house and that, therefore their tax base would go up a little bit, so the city could recoup some of the financial monies on
Over
it.
the years, though, we're
I know.
competitive. So
Yeah, and then we wouldn't have to send anybody over there to cut it or anything else like that, so you're saving manpower too.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Rich?
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. That's why, get what you can get.
So the paper streets are like $50.
Now, again, the paper streets were not assessed, so nobody's paying taxes on it because they were city owned, so that's why
Yeah.
it's a net plus because
Right.
it adds value. What the assessor told me was, if it's next to the property, it adds a couple bucks to the taxable value. If it's frontage or rear, it adds a little more value. So usually these are slots that are next to a house. It's gonna be a minor bump in
And then
taxes.
there's a house down the road, they might want to construct a garage or something
Exactly,
on that site, so that would be, building,
Improvement,
Right.
yeah.
yes.
Because the city does have, I think we have 3 or 4 other properties that could fall into the same situation, so we're looking to you guys for guidance. to-
Well, I think that would be a feasible solution to do it that way.
$50
Yeah, and
plus,
if they took up
plus
the financial aspect of getting it surveyed
plus,
and,
plus.
the filing and, Mako.
yeah, essentially we'll just sell it as a quick claim deed. If they want to then do title work afterwards and or get a survey, that's on them.
Right,
And then they just cover the filing fees. And that's how we do with paper streets. You know, and if you can get more than the 50, go for it, but I wouldn't push hard.
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't push back hard. Whatever they counter with, say, okay.
is that set by, right with you, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
Stop playing with your phone.
Does
Does it sound like it would be workable?
Told everyone where my feelings are.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. The only logistical question I guess I would have for you, Rich, too, is if you do have this property that sits between 2 side-by-side neighbors, and if they were both interested in that property,
who
would be the
requested
person
first?
that could?
Who requested
Yeah.
first?
is-
It would be a first come, first served basis, I would think,
Unless, if it's land, and here's how we're handling,
or split it.
yeah, or you could do that, or if it's land that's really desirable, if it's a buildable size lot. For example, we looked at some plots, I think in the first floor where you got some really nice buildable lots there, potential future development. Those we usually set aside. But if it's one that's kind of landlocked and there really is nothing that we could do with it, then you either say highest and best, or you say you guys work it out, and you can split it. You can do it that way too. So I mean, you can go either way. I would just preach flexibility, you know, be flexible because each situation will be a little different.
The other neighbor has not expressed any interest.
Yeah, so they'd probably be fine on this one.
I'm just
But if
thinking
you ran into
potential
that
issues.
instance, yes.
I mean, maybe that neighbor's finding out that they didn't know they could buy it and now. they're
What's their loss then?
Exactly, I'm just making sure that we have all our ducks in a row as we move forward.
Right,
Especially in this case where you had approval to sell some years ago. It was some, I think you're
I
fine.
mean, it's like the one on Maple Avenue that we're working on, yeah.
Yeah, it's already been approved. It's just a matter of following through.
Getting somebody there to spay it, I know, I'm gonna go there.
Liz, you've heard everything? Any questions on your end?
I have a question for council. Richard, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not sure how I'm supposed to follow this now, but I don't want any appearance of conflict of interest. So I don't know if it's possible or do you ever give the name of who you're selling it to? Because I just know folks and have relatives that own property.
She just wants.
I'm not looking for a vote on anything. I'd be happy to share the name of the homeowner, but we're not looking for you to vote on anything. Her name is Marie Rivera.
Okay,
Yeah, in this particular situation, Liz, the sale itself was approved back in 18. They just never worked out a price.
okay, I understand now.
They'll just seeking guidance on how to negotiate down on the price.
Really?
Okay. Wanted to make sure it wasn't any relative of mine.
And if that does come up, it's a small community. It's just that the board member would abstain from the vote if we had to vote on it. That's all.
Okay.
We're not
That's where
Right, in this case.
I was at, yeah, do I abstain from voting?
No.
But I don't know them, so, okay.
Great.
We're just looking for transparency and guidance.
Right.
Sure.
For the price. Okay, great. So if there's any other discussion or questions on that? Treasurer's report.
we had just a few transactions since our last meeting. The first line item you'll see is our beginning balance as of December 9th, 2020, which was our last meeting. So I just sort of detailed a little bit of the few transactions that have happened. Under the general, we've just had a few expenses come through, insurance, property taxes, some QuickBooks, professional fees. So our general fund balance started at 11,425.73. It's now at 7,515.67. Farmers market, again, just had a couple of transactions trailing in from last season. Less the credit card processing charges, its new balance is 7,360.43. The festivals account, we really haven't done anything with that. We did have a couple of invoices outstanding from the last season that we cleaned up. Advertising, for the Penny Saver and Observer of 1,097. Ending balance is 79,598.83. Our dog park just had some utility bills go through. Its new balance 225.48. And of course, the biggest transaction we had was with the savings account for the loan funds. And we did make those 3 loans the last meeting. So that was 70,000, total of 70,000. And all 3 loan recipients have made 2 payments as scheduled. So you'll see that under the deposits, loan payments, 2,512.76. That is them paying, already beginning to pay those bills back. So our savings loan fund balance is 15,356.02. So a grand total of $110,056.43.
Anyone have any questions?
Liz, you got that? I know.
Thank you, I can hear you.
Does anyone have any questions for Marcia on that? Do you need a motion to accept the report or just a report? Okay. All right, very good. Is there any old business? Seeing none, I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn.
Nichols. No, we got a meeting at 6.
Everybody,
All in
all
favor?
in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 5:41 p.m. Thank you, Liz.
Thanks, everyone. I appreciate your time.
Don't wear your good shoes up to the door.
Oh.
Funny, Denise said.
Look at my glasses.